Hi, Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt. Hi, Zach.
So, today we're going to talk about episode 3 of season 1 of Greenhouse Academy.
Our favorite show in the whole wide world.
Yes, it's definitely the best. We just rewatched it. Not a lot happened this
Yeah,
episode.
this is it's very weird that we're getting to kind of like the filler on episode 3, but this very much feels like an episode that just sets up future events
Yeah.
that doesn't actually have any substance of its own. Which is very weird because a lot seems to happen, but like nothing that seems to happen seems to have much consequence, if that makes sense. Like when we're gonna go through it, like you're just gonna be like, wow, that's a lot that went down. But when you're actually watching it, it's just like not an actual lot happening
Yeah.
that's going on.
I mean, okay, so like we start off with Daniel coming into the locker room and he's limping and
He's going, ah,
he's got a little a
ah.
little red circle on his sock, and he
Mm-hmm.
busts his locker open and he pulls out
Ah.
some ibuprofen and he starts guzzling it.
Oh, he chugs that bad boy.
Yeah.
He's like, somewhere in the world, it's Saturday, down the hatch.
Yeah, he is drinking a lot of targeted pain relief.
Is that the equivalent of like dunking the whole bottle of pills down your throat? Is that what he's doing? I
I
wonder.
That's
Is this
definitely.
targeted pain relief or is this a suicide attempt? We may never know.
But then, like, we started talking about the co-ed, like, bathrooms the last time we talked, but, like, Brooke just walks in on him and she's like, hey, what's going on? You look stressed. And, like, he, like, hears her coming, and so he, like, closes the bottle really quick and, like, chucks it back in the
He's like,
locker, and he's like,
ibuprofen? I wasn't taking any ibuprofen. What? Do I look like I was taking pain medicine?
and then,
That's pretty much exactly what he acts like.
yeah, no, that was a really, like, good reenactment.
That was actually, I didn't even make that up. That's just, it's in the show. You have to see it.
He just actually, like, replayed the clip just now.
Yeah.
So
No, but he acts super
he
suspicious.
really
And his
does.
girlfriend comes in. She's like, is everything all right? And he's like, yeah. And then he kisses her and walks off. And she's like, okay.
And like,
She
well,
takes it.
she does. Well, yeah, but I don't remember. Was she doesn't sort of?
Nope.
No, that wasn't this time. That was.
Nope.
Oh.
That was the second time that she's sort of suspicious. This
Oh,
time,
okay.
she's just like, okay. And then she's done.
Kooky.
She's got nothing else to go with it.
Yeah, like it was really weird because I was just thinking, like, is that just like a Daniel and Brooke thing, or like can all couples do that? Like, if or can anybody just do that? Like, I'm at work and like my boss comes in and he's like, "Hey, what is the meaning of this?" Mwah. Oh, never mind. You get a raise.
Kiss him and then
Just
walk off, and you're like, oh, everything okay.
She's a great employee.
She's
Never,
a great employee.
never,
Nice.
never come in a day in her life. Always late, but like she gets a raise because she gave me a little smooch.
A little, she gave a small little kiss.
Then, who do we cut to next? Is it we go back to the FBI, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so we go to the FBI. You might remember from the last time we talked, the Haley and Alex, their dad used to be in the FBI, and when he thought like the house was broken into by Kyle, he called his friend who was like, "Hey, if you don't get your act together, everyone's gonna leave you." Well, that guy, he still works for the FBI. So the
As you do.
yeah, so the whoever the leader or the what do they call the lead FBI guy?
Chief?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know why I felt like you seemed like you were an authority on this sort of
I
thing.
guess he's the chief.
Yeah, so the chief was
He's the chief imposter.
yeah. The chief is like, there is a missing park ranger in the woods that you need to go around to the greenhouse academy.
Also, I want to say like the chief is black, and he's like always two seconds away from going, "You're off the case." You're a loose cannon.
He's like Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, he's like the dude from Lethal Weapon. He's just like always on edge for some inexplicable reason.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because I was thinking he seems like really on edge, but also
Hmm?
like pretty
Sorry.
casual too.
Say that again? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I was saying like he's like pretty laid back, but also like kind of casual too, because he's like, because then the guy is like, oh no, Eric or whatever, his kids just started going there. And he's like, all right, well, all the more reason for you to be on this case. And then he like goes
I
back to
know.
his office, like. But I thought this, but also like, is a missing part? He's only been missing for 2 weeks. Is a missing park ranger really a big deal for the
For
FBI?
the Federal Bureau of
What
Investigation?
are Where are the
Yeah,
cops?
absolutely.
It's California. There's a police station somewhere, I'd
No,
imagine.
no, no. We live in this is the era. This is the world of Greenhouse. Okay, police don't exist in this world. There's just park rangers and FBI's. That's it.
Oh, also, we have breakfast with the Ravens that morning, and Jackie's reading the newspaper, and Max says, "Oh, what are you reading?" And she's like, "Surf reports. Gonna be blah 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 swells tomorrow." And then he's like, "Oh, you surf?" And she's like, "Yeah." Which like was a cute little moment between the two of them.
Yeah, they are the best characters.
But then everybody starts giving Jackie the third degree. They're like, so like, where'd you come from? And she's like, I moved around a lot. And then the second question,
Where'd you come from? Lots of different places.
and then like the next question is, so why'd you come to school in handcuffs?
It's a pretty valid question.
And it is, but like, this is episode 3. You guys did the opening challenge together. You had the pizza party.
Y'all sleep together. You haven't even asked her like casually yet.
Like, this is the first time. And so then they ask her, and she's like, what, I didn't come to class. No, she doesn't say anything. She's just, like, really, like, flustered. And then Haley is like, obviously to protect Leo from the guitar. And, like, they all have, like, a laugh. But, like, if I was Emma, I'd be like, haha, that's cute. But, like, what's up? Like,
No,
what?
no, but, like, really.
Can I get a real answer? Because,
No, yeah, that's real cute. Yeah, but no, really, like,
like,
no.
why am I sharing a bedroom with a criminal? Like, for real, though. Like, like...
Is it true? Is it true you killed somebody?
Like, it was very weird that like it was nice that Haley like covered. I'm just thinking like if I had asked that question, I would kind of want a real answer. Like I'm concerned for my life, but whatever. So then Jackie looks into her backpack and she's like, "What? My notebook? But it was all wet before. I threw it away." And then Max is like, "Oh wow, look at the time. I gotta go." And
Bye bye.
he like,
And and I love it because he leaves in the most obvious way possible.
yeah. And then
He's
oh yeah.
and she gives him like the dirty eyes as he leaves too. She gives him a big old stink eye.
And she's just like, I mean, it was really cute because I was like, what? You could have just continued sitting there and like, you could have just like shoveled food in your face. And that, like, and then that would have sort of hid your reaction. But he's just a little cutie pie, so he's just gonna be a little.
Well, look at the time right now. Bye.
So then,
I like it because they couldn't have possibly made a bigger deal out of him exiting if
yeah,
he tried.
yeah. And then,
It's great.
oh, okay. So then Alex is going down, and then Haley's like, "Hey, bro," and he like looks at her and then looks away and goes to sit with the eagles, like he's not talking to her.
Yeah.
And
I like it because she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's like, he acknowledges her existence by looking at her, but he doesn't say anything back. So it's kind of like the biggest asshole move you can actually do.
and like, yeah, and like,
Because at least if he didn't look at her, he could claim that he didn't hear her. But he looks right at her, and then he doesn't say anything.
yeah, and like when, and then Leo is just like, "Oh, I told you, you need to give him space." Like, who are you?
Leo, no one asked you.
Like-
Leo. Hey, Leo. Shush! No one asked you. Stop that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? What about that? Why did you feel the need to comment on that situation, Leo?
Like,
No one asked you.
yeah, nobody did. And like,
And this is gonna be a recurring thing too.
yeah.
Throughout this whole show, you're gonna go, Leo, stop that.
Because, like, last
Leo.
episode, he started backseat gaming her, and then
Yeah.
Jackie. And then this episode, he's like, he told you needed space. So then Haley just looks at him, gives him a dirty look, and then gets her lunch tray and leaves.
That he totally deserves, I would like to add.
Yeah, no. I'm in
Ow,
agreement.
I have to hit this so bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So then he... Okay, so so I guess they're just sitting at lunch, and they're alone. Then, Alex goes back to his room, and all the Eagles are there.
Yeah, they're all sitting there. All the Eagles are there. They're all in perfect unison sitting there, like backs to him. And he walks in, and they all perfectly in unison turn to him. They're like, "What's up? We got a plan.
And, like...
We need you to be a part of our plan."
He's like... And what's funny, too, is, like, I don't know if this was planned or if it just was, like, a happy coincidence. But he comes in, like, a little, like, hey, guys. Because, like, they all are sitting there. They're not talking. They're not doing anything.
Yeah,
and then when the
they're
door
not- they're just
opens,
sitting.
they all look up.
They all look up in unison, and they all stare at him.
So here's the plan. They have a fake Louie that he needs to switch with Haley's Louie.
Oh, yeah, and whenever he says that he's not going to do it, because obviously he's not going to do that. He's not going to betray his sister like that. He's not going to be a jerk. So he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then they all, in unison, stand up and go, I knew he wasn't going to do it.
And, like...
In unison, as if on cue.
And, like, they all, like, they all were gonna leave the room. This is, like, they're in, like, their club lounge. Like, this is the rec room. This is where they were going to be. And, like, they start leaving, and then he's, like, succumbs to the peer pressure almost instantly. And he's like, no, wait. And then, like, they all stop abruptly, and they all turn together to look at him. And he's like, what do you want me to do? And so, or, like, give me the Louie, or whatever. And so they give it to him, and, like, they're a hive mind.
They're like a literal hive mind.
Like, I don't know.
They're on exact cue. It's insane.
And so, like, it's like 8 people, right?
Every movement they do together. Like all 8 of them, like all at the same time. It is bizarre.
It's real weird.
It's really entertaining though.
I did like it because it's not. And now that I think about it, and you guys weren't there, but like maybe you were. I don't know. But like during the pizza party, they were all so sad together, in unison then too. And like I didn't realize that till now. But like they're a hive mind. I hope they keep this going for the whole show.
They're like what's the name of those that from the Kids Next Door, like the perfect family or whatever?
Oh,
they all talk in unison.
yeah.
They're like that. They're just like that.
Oh my, it's very weird. And like they kind of finish each other's sentences a little bit too. Like one person starts, then in the back someone finishes it.
Literal hive mind. The more I think about it, the funnier it gets to me.
So Alex has given in. And so Haley goes to the cafe. I don't know where it is. She gets like this like mocha.
She goes to the nondescript Starbucks.
Yeah, that's like part of the school. It's like in Zoe 101 how they had Sushi Rocks or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that place, but this place seems to serve like whatever they want. So he gives her like this mocha frappuccino, and she starts taking out her card, and he's like, no, it's paid for. And then he points, and then she turns around, and that's Alex standing there, and he like waves.
And she leaves her mocha frappe there.
And she asks, she's like, can I leave this here? It wasn't like the actress just like forgot about it and like walked to him and they didn't catch
she
it.
She goes, can I leave this here?
Like,
and he goes,
and then I'm just...
And then she just leaves it there.
And, like, what about the other people in line? Like, this drink's in the way. Because, like, It was at the register. It wasn't like at Starbucks where like they give it to you from the other side where they make it.
No, it was like it was smack dab in their way, and not only was it smack dab in their way, she never goes back and gets it either. She just leaves it there.
Yeah.
She just leaves her drink there. It's just there. It's there for the rest of the show. It's probably there for the entire rest of the series. We just
Oh,
don't know it.
that would be so great if they paid attention to that. I would have. That would have made me really happy.
I was watching this and I don't know, I was just kind of annoyed that she would leave her drink there like that. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't.
He made that drink and the other person paid for it. You're not even gonna drink it.
And like, cause like there are tables around. She could have said it at. I don't know why.
Taking it with her, she didn't need to leave her drink there to go say hi to somebody.
And also, cause like I guess like she wasn't sure if she was going to accept it yet. But like a lot of times in movies when like someone buys them a drink and like but they're still on the outs or whatever, if it doesn't work out, they just throw it in the trash. Don't inconvenience the workers with your like weird family drama.
I didn't even notice at first that he did pay for it. I thought that she bought that drink, and then the dude came up, and then she got distracted right afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Oh no, she started taking out like something from her purse, and he was like, "No, no, you're all good." And then he points to Alex. But then, so anyway, Alex is like apologizes to her, and he's like, I'm sorry I was a jerk. And she was like, no, I should have minded my own business. Because, like, if you remember, he yelled at her during the basketball game last episode. Because he was like, pass the ball, like a weirdo. So then we go back. The FBI people are at the Greenhouse Academy and they're talking to this groundskeeper and they're like, hey, do you mind if we ask you a few questions? And then the groundskeeper's like, yeah, I don't care. And then Lewis pats him on the back and he's like, it's okay.
It's okay, you're gonna be alright.
And like, he was nonplussed. He was
not in trouble, Lewis. He was fine.
And he wasn't scared. He wasn't like, what do you guys want to talk to me about? Like, what's going on?
What do you want to know? Like, he didn't act remotely suspicious. He wasn't remotely suspicious. Lewis was just incredibly suspicious for no reason about this.
Don't worry, it'll be okay. But then, like, Jackie sees them, and I guess she's like, oh no. Like, so she dodges them. Then...
She dodges them, and she makes poor Max be very nonplussed, but very casual about being ignored.
He's like, who are... And then she's gone. They...
It's like, oh, okay.
He just shrugs him. He's like,
right.
alright, I guess I'll go back to my day.
Okay, back to my name is Tails.
Then, okay, so then Alex comes back to the Eagles' house, and, like, they don't even really give him a chance. They're like, so, did you get it? And he, like, is about to open his mouth. They're like, I knew he wouldn't get it.
I knew he wouldn't do it. Hive mind.
They all get up.
Literal hive mind. They all at once go, I knew he couldn't do it. And they all stand up
and they
at once and start walking away.
And they all start talking about, like, algebra homework. And they're like, I guess we'll just do that. Revenge or algebra homework. Like, also, what were you guys doing this whole time he was gone?
No, really.
They were just sitting there. Like weirdos. Okay, so then, but Sophie's not sitting on the same side of the couch as them anymore, so I guess she's broken free of the hive mind for this one scene.
She managed to escape before she gets sucked back into it again.
Yeah. So then, like, he pulls out the Louie, and then she's like, I knew you could do it! And, like, everybody gets super excited. And, like, my question is, Sophie, what about last episode when you put up those topless pics of him on your blog, and then when he was, like, annoyed about that, you filmed him being an honest boy and then showed it to and made everybody hate him more than they already did. Like,
she just can't decide whose side she's been on.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't even know. But anyway, I guess we're supposed to forget that happened too? I don't know. Because she's like, I knew you could do it. I always believed in you. It's like, but you made everybody hate me more just like yesterday.
Literally 5 seconds ago. What is wrong with you?
They don't know what they want to do with Sophie yet. So then, Alex is like, so what are we gonna do? Like, what are you guys gonna do? And then Daniel's like, no, what are we gonna do? And what are they gonna do? They're going to get all gussied up in their criminal attire. I'm talking like black jumpsuits,
Dressed in all black, like the old black. That's what they're gonna be like.
and they're wearing ski masks that as soon as they're in the thing, like, I'm assuming there are definitely security cameras in
There's
this
gotta
school,
be, yeah.
but like Lewis is asleep anyway, so who cares? But
And
like,
also, like, nobody checks the security cameras.
if they did, or if there was like a night janitor, if anyone was around, 10 or so kids, how many kids are in the Eagles? Like 5? Like kids. However many kids are in this academy, half of the academy is all dressed up in black, slinking down the halls and going to the Ravens' room. So like,
what it would have looked like for anybody else who was there if they saw
it
him.
was like,
Also, they get in there and they take their masks off, and the Ravens are apparently very heavy sleepers because they straight up throw a flippin' party in this
they're
room
like
almost.
blasting silly string all over the place.
Silly
And
string
also,
and like spray paint and like and like nobody hears this happening. They get into the Ravens' bedroom where we see a co-ed bedroom. Like, they're all sleeping in one bedroom, which is bizarre. It's so weird. And then they start doing makeup on the Ravens' faces.
and I do not.
Did the Ravens get drunk? Did they get drunk and pass out? Like,
And like,
normally when you draw on someone's face, they're inebriated in some way, but these guys are just sleeping.
yeah.
What are the odds that not a single Raven would wake up during this? Unless, of course, they straight up drugged them. Like, that's the only way they could have gotten away with this.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like,
It's if they straight up drugged the Ravens.
yeah, no, definitely. Like, also, what else is weird, I think, is that, like, well, yeah, no, the whole thing about, like, breaking in and stuff, that was weird. But, like, what was I saying?
I don't know, what were you saying? Where were you going with this?
I don't know. I had something to say.
Oh,
That's so
dear.
sad. Oh, okay, yeah, like,
Slippery little devils aren't thought.
um, oh my god.
Oh gosh, we killed it. We really killed it.
Okay, wait,
Oh,
what was
no.
the last thing you said?
Talking about how improbable it was
Oh,
that they
okay, yeah. Okay, so also,
broke in there.
okay, here's why I couldn't remember, because I was just changing the topic, I guess. Because, like, they all share a room. All the Ravens were in this bedroom. Like, it wasn't like,
All of them were in one bedroom.
and they didn't wake up. Like, it's not just like two guys share a room that they stuck into. So it's like,
No.
that, because I can give that a pass. But this is the entire Raven student body shares this
All in
room.
one room.
They're all there. So that's Leo, that's Haley, Max, Jackie. They're all there. And then, like, they wake up the next morning and their room is like trashed, like that prank in the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap, if you remember that. Like, that's how trash the room is.
Like you brought up that movie before.
Probably.
I feel like you've mentioned that movie before.
It's very it's appropriate. It fits into most situations.
Is there a single situation where the Parent Trap movie doesn't fit? I need to know.
I mean, is there a situation where Lindsay Lohan doesn't fit?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's fair. I will accept that.
Yeah. Okay. So then Lewis comes in, and I guess the FBI is back, and they're like, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on here? This is such a mess." And they're like, "The Eagles." He's like, "All right, okay, shut up. I don't care."
Yeah, he comes in here, asks what happens. They start to tell him, and he goes, "Yeah, no, I don't care. Shut up. I really don't care. We have more important things to worry about." Like, Jesus, dude, take a chill pill. You asked them.
Like, I hate that so much. Just because he asked a question and then was like, nobody cares. Like, if he just walked in and he was like, hey, there's something, and they were like, no, look at the eagles. And he's like, okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah, and then he was like, never mind, I don't care.
This is.
But he wasn't. He asked them. And then as soon as they started to answer, he shut them down.
And then, so then they're like, where's Jackie? And she so they're looking for her, and then Lewis is like, you guys don't have like a warrant or something like that. So then Jackie comes back, and then Leo is like, where were you? And she's like holding a surfboard, and she makes this cute little face like, I don't know, where was I?
You surfing? So you surfing, huh? Don't play games with me.
And like,
yeah, they don't believe what she says. She's surfing, and he's like, you're surfing before dawn?
which is like
incredulously, and she's like, yeah, dawn's the best time to surf, which granted sounds silly, but she's also holding a surfboard and she's wet.
I guess what's funny too is like, maybe this is just because I grew up in California, but like, that's just the fact. Like, that everybody knows that's the best time to surf. It has something to do.
Oh, is it?
I
didn't know.
I don't know why, because like, I don't surf, but it has something to do with like the moon and the tides or whatever. Like, I just know that like, if you know people who surf, that's when they go do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know.
No,
that makes it even better then.
So then she was like, before dawn, and I'm like, Leo, you live in California too. You all do. Right off the beach.
She's soaking wet and carrying a surfboard. What else would she be doing unless she went and grabbed a surfboard and took a shower? Like, what do you think she was doing?
So then, like, they grab her and they take her for questioning, and they're like,
they don't even let her dry off. They just snatch her up for questioning.
And then, like, the guy, he's like, what were you doing using this thing? And she was like, I took a shortcut to get, like, so I could surf.
No. You missed the part that's very important. Where they're like, he's like, if y'all don't have a reason to be here, y'all don't have any proof or evidence or warrant, y'all need to go.
Oh, yeah.
So they go out. They leave his office in a huff. They go over and they find, like, a fence with a hole in it. And they find, like, what is it, a tatter of, like...
Yeah, a little piece of, like, clothing or something like that.
A little piece of clothing. And they come back and like, oh, yeah, now we can interrogate everybody. And you said it we were watching. You were like, that's not a warrant. a little piece of clothing is not a warrant.
He's like, oh, yeah, because he was...
No, you don't have the authority to be here.
Yeah.
You guys don't have a warrant.
Because, like, his whole thing was, like, you have no reason to be here, so, like, get lost. And, like, I'm...
Like, you don't have a warrant. You can't question our kids. You don't have a warrant.
And then, like...
You're just here snooping around. Like, go away.
Yeah. And then, like, he just was like, well, we have this tattered piece of clothing. We can come look now. And then Lewis is like, the clothing. My hands are tied, I guess.
Let's him do it.
Like,
without a warrant. Again, they're FBI agents. Why are they investigating a missing cop? And, I don't know if I can spoil it or not. This scene, all of this makes even less sense when you get further into the show.
Yeah, like...
It makes even less sense.
Yeah, we're not
like the way they act.
Explain.
The way they all act makes even... can you put up a spoiler warning?
Okay. Spoiler warning here. Okay.
Spoiler warning right here.
Say things.
You can skip to whatever time.
Yeah.
So you don't get spoiled. This makes even less sense because it's revealed that these FBI agents are evil and they were trying to secure the evidence in the first place. So why did they not want to go here?
Yeah.
When the FBI guy comes up here and is like, you guys got investigated. And he's like, well, but that's where those kids are there. And he's like, yeah, all the more reason you should go there. And then he, like, begrudgingly goes there and begrudgingly does all this. You think, like, this is all part of his plan. Like,
yeah.
What? Why do you not want to be here? You're supposed to be here to search for your evidence that you left behind. Why do y'all act so dumb? Why are y'all... And then the other guy, the dean, is there, and he's like... He's actively fighting against them, despite the fact that they're both evil.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess we don't fully I don't know. Since we are like spoiling a little bit, I guess my thing is I don't think it'll make much sense yet. But like they all work for Judy basically. We told you a little bit about her, but
This is spoilers.
yeah,
Yeah. If you're watching this, you already said spoilers.
yeah.
So it's your fault.
So then, like they all work for Judy, but I don't know how closely they all work together. So I don't know if they have the same information or not.
They're all in the. They all hang out in the same little cave.
Oh no, you can't spoil the case part. that, that's the.
No, this is spoilers if you've already seen the show.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
If you've already seen the show, if you haven't seen the show yet, you should have skipped this part already.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so.
But they all hang out in the same cave. This is important because, like, the way they act here does not make any sense in retrospect with the entire rest of the series.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you've seen the whole series, then you know, like, what they seem to act really weird in these first couple episodes. I swear to God, it's like they didn't even know that it was gonna happen later on.
Well,
I wonder if they wrote this show as they went on. I honestly can't tell.
like nothing connected. They just like kept writing scripts, and they're like, "Here, this one's done. Go, do with what you will." But this conflicts with what I don't care. Shoot it now.
Come on, we have a show to make.
This is all the time.
This isn't Two Draft Tuesday, okay?
It's our time down here.
All right. You look at the calendar. Does it say 2 Draft Tuesday there? No, 1 draft. Get out there. They call me One Take Jake because we do it all in one take.
Okay, so back. So spoilers over. Okay, back.
Okay, spoilers are over.
So now they got.
You're allowed to watch again.
Yeah. So Jackie gets back into questioning, and this guy Eric, the FBI guy, he's like, okay, 1st of June 16th, robbed a bakery, which like, all right.
No, breaking and entering a bakery.
Yeah,
That's
breaking.
robbing.
Yeah, so breaking and
It
entering.
didn't say she took anything. It just said she broke
She just
and entered it.
she just was in there. She was like just.
She wandered. You know what she did? She went behind where it says employee only. She walked
She was
over
kick.
there.
She
Never did
kicked
that.
it. Yeah, she kicked it in the bakery. Then they're like, ooh, whatever the other date was, insulted a police officer. What are the
Said a yo mama joke to a cop.
like? Then last offense that you guys already knew. Hopefully you watched episode 1 because that'd be really weird if you didn't. Honestly, like she robbed a bank.
Breaking and entering a bank. Need I go on? Yeah, I think you should go on. Like,
what
what could possibly top that? Did she kill somebody? Like, she robbed a
Was
bank.
it gonna be
and
like-
you're treating it like it's like the most whatever thing? Like
And
you're
then-
adding that as like the footnote to your list of crimes.
And then like
She robbed the bank.
and like this little lady, and then like Lewis is like, you don't need to talk. Like, you don't need to, like, talk to them if you don't want to. Or, like, you can defend yourself or something like that. And she's like, it doesn't matter what I say or do. They've already convicted me because of my past. And it's like, hun, you robbed a bank?
I also want to say, hun, they haven't convicted you yet. They don't have any evidence.
They have a piece of clothing, Matt.
They have a piece of clothing and your fingerprints on a fence. It wasn't on the clothing. Your fingerprints were on the fence.
Yeah. But, like, so they want...
They don't have any evidence. They can't convict you. There's no case.
So they want her to take a lie detector
This
test.
is literal bird court going on right here.
So they want her to take a lie detector test. And she's like, no.
Despite being innocent, she won't do it. Because they've already convicted her, so it doesn't matter what they say.
Yeah.
Or what she says. Like, despite the fact that none of those things are true.
Yeah. Like...
Hey, did you kill this cop? No. Okay. Wow, what do you know? That checks out, huh? It's almost like you didn't do it. Wow.
So...
It's almost like the only evidence we have is that you touched a fence that a piece of cloth also happened to be on.
So then so they're like they're like, okay, time to go to jail now, little lady. Like, they also didn't ask.
Going to jail?
She doesn't
Forgot about that.
if I remember correctly, it doesn't seem like they even explained to her that a park ranger was missing. So like,
Nope.
she doesn't even know what she's going to jail for. Like, she's just going to jail now.
These two find
So
out.
then Haley and like the rest of the Ravens are all down there, and they're like, "What's going on?" And then Lewis is like, "Jackie, it's not too late. You could take the lie detector test." And she's like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." And then Haley's like, "You can't give her the one unless you give me one." Like kind of like what was it, Spartacus or whatever? Like
Yeah.
they all stand up. They're like, "We're all gonna take the lie detector test." And then she's like, "Oh,
Um, and I like it because she's like, I could be criminal just as much as Jackie, which is not something that makes any sense. Barely. First off, no, you're not a suspect, so no, you can't be as much of a criminal. But at the same time, Jackie's barely a suspect either.
like
So I guess it just happens to work out.
yeah."
Like, in any other circumstances, what you said would be nonsense. But, I mean, it's already kangaroo court here, so yeah, why not? I guess you could be just as much of a
Yeah.
criminal as Jackie, considering they have no evidence against Jackie either.
Yeah.
They have about as much evidence on you as they do on Jackie, so yeah, why not?
Yeah. And then like yeah, so they're all like that, and then Leo's like, "Yeah, I'll do it too." But then like Emma's like, "There should be a control for this experiment. I'll take a lie detector test as well." And it's like, one, Emma, you don't matter right now. Two, Emma, shush, because like it's not an experiment.
Well, it's not an
There's
experiment.
no control.
This isn't a control group.
You're all doing the same thing, and because the only thing that any of you people have in common, I guess, is that you,
go to this. You exist,
yeah, you,
and you go to this
yeah,
school.
you, like, it could easily be Eagles or anybody. It doesn't even. Okay. So, oh right, here's something we forgot about because again, like, it kind of like only half matters. So Brooke try is like Daniel's being weird, and so she sees he's like talking to her, and then she's like, "Hey, you want to go do yoga?" And he was just guzzling some more ibuprofen,
Yeah,
and
he's chugging that bad boy down
like
again.
I want to know how many bottles he has because he definitely finished it by now, I think. And
He's just like, I love it because you watch him do it, and he doesn't take like a swig. He takes like a good 2 to 3 chugs of like a good
yeah.
of that. Like, as in his mouth got full and he had to swallow so that his mouth could get full again. Like that. That's a pretty intense chug there, dude.
Yeah, like I want to say it's about the size of like I want to say at least 12 ounces, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the bottle.
It's pretty great.
So she talks to him. He's like, "Oh no, I gotta get to rock climbing class." Which, like, I want to know what they explore in that class.
I
like,
remember I said something about rock climbing class.
Yeah.
I laughed. I was like, "Is there really an entire class dedicated
Yeah.
to this? Like, it's not just like a side activity. There's an entire class for this.
like,
You're teaching a whole class on rock climb. It's in your curriculum.
well, that's the fun, like, greenhouse bingo. What's the curriculum?
You have. Do they give you rock climbing homework? Is this like rock climbing studies too? Like, so this isn't a part of gym class. This is its own separate class, unrelated to gym. Rock climbing class.
Yes.
That is bizarre.
So so he just closed his locker.
Is that an opt-in class, or is that like a required class? Like, you cannot graduate unless you've
Oh
graduated
no,
top
you can.
marks in rock
Well,
climbing
if you're an
class.
eagle, you can't graduate unless you pass rock climbing class. Raven, you don't need to work. You don't need to move your body.
Do you think the final exam of rock climbing class is a 100 question paper about rock climbing?
You have to talk. You have to write a 1,000-word essay about how rock climbing has
Rock climbing to
changed.
pass rock climbing class. Do I have to learn about the great rock climbers?
You,
I mean, it's not the way they describe it makes it sound like it's more than just an activity. It's a class.
so then, so then Brooke just like goes up to his locker and she sort of like lightly like taps it and is like,
She takes his lock, takes the lock in her hand, like looks at it and like shakes it slightly and then drops it and it's like, oh, it's no use.
yeah, like,
It's a lock.
and I was like, "Hun, like,
She didn't even
what are
try.
you like? Yeah, it's a lock. What did you think it was Like, this was gonna be the one time he didn't lock his locker? Like, what?
Also, I gotta say, he locked that locker
Oh,
fast.
he's a very fast boy. That's why he's the
Because,
captain of
like,
the
he turns
Eagle.
around and slams the locker, and that thing's locked, apparently, because he doesn't touch it afterwards. So, like, he locked that thing telekinetically.
Yeah.
He locked it with his mind.
Then, so then later, like, all the stuff with Jackie happens, but then, um, she gets the master key and she goes in back to his locker and like she's gonna open it but he's coming up and he's like, hey babe, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh what, nothing, I wasn't gonna try to break into your locker or anything. And he's like, okay. And then she's like, so do you want to like go hang out or something? And he's like, actually I have to clear my mind. And so he gives her another smooch and then walks away. And so she's like, okay, but like, I just want you guys to remember that he said he needs to go clear his mind because that's going to come up in the next episode, I think, or something like that.
Oh dear. Oh,
So,
I'm getting a sneak preview
yeah.
of the next episode.
Yeah. So then she unlocks it and she sees targeted pain relief. Oh no!
Mm, oh no.
Which, like, I don't know. Like, I think I've heard, like, conflicting answers, like, but he's, like, a sports boy. So is it, like, that weird that he has targeted pain relief? Because it seems like.
I don't do any physical activity, and I still have ibuprofen with me.
Yeah, I mean, granted, like, we're not all guzzling it, but it seems like possessing
Just
it.
having it,
Yeah,
like,
isn't that
could
weird?
you imagine, like, okay, I want you to imagine, like, alright, I want you to roleplay with me, okay? Alright, you're over at your boyfriend's house, okay? Okay, you're at your boyfriend's house, and he's got, like, a medicine cabinet there, okay? And you open the medicine cabinet, and what do you see? Bottle of ibuprofen. Are you a drug taker? You take those drugs? Huh? I see you've got Advil. I see you got ibuprofen. What's this? What's this?
Poppin'
Is this
Tums.
arthritis medication? You know, I had when I was a kid, we had my grandma had arthritis, and she brought over some arthritis pain medicine once, like weak ibuprofen or whatever for arthritis. And we were all out of headache medicine, and I had real bad migraines when I was a kid. And so I got the arthritis medicine because it was like, light pain relief. And I opened it and I was like, wow, this is the easiest child safety lock ever. My mom was like, yeah, it's easy opening, you dummy. It's for people with arthritis. It's not child safety lock on it. It's made to be opened easily. And I was like, oh. I thought I was being cool. I thought I got it open. No, it was meant to be opened that easy the whole time. My mom put me down real hard. My mom dunked on me. She dunked on me hard.
She dabbed on the haters.
She dabbed on me. You know what? And right after she had a sick dab and she twirled around while she did it. It's like, dang, uncalled
Then
for.
she took a camera and pointed at your shoes and went, what are those?
Unrelated, but still, like, it's not that insane that he would have targeted pain relief in there. He does sports. He can hurt himself real easily.
Yeah, like, yeah, I guess, like, I mean, some people are like, no, like, if you're an athlete, like, you shouldn't. But, like, I remember seeing, like, commercials, like, with, like, not Michael Jordan, but, like, some basketball boy who was like, I got icy hot because, like, I need them. And, like, I don't know. It seems like it's, like, pretty reasonable to have it in your locker just in case. Like, but whatever. So then the episode ends with like, oh wait, no. Yeah, they ask like Haley the questions and she answers them right. Or honestly, I guess, but they don't do it like a normal lie detector test. Like normally, first of all, I'd be at the police station or the FBI station, not.
Can you imagine bringing a portable lie detector with you just so you can tell if anyone's telling
You know what it
you
is? You know what
time?
I think? Honest, like, okay, let's pretend like the show, like, they think about these things. I'm thinking they got a budget for a portable lie detector test, and they're like, we're gonna use this thing one way or another. We got this bad boy. We're gonna use it. So they were just like, missing park ranger. Girls sort of sketchy and robbed a bank. We're gonna use it. But, like, they don't.
Alright, finally. You know how I've been lugging this portable lie detector with me since we left the station. I've had to take this everywhere. This thing weighs like 10 pounds. I've always got to drag this thing around with me. Finally a chance to use this bad boy.
Yeah. And like then they like normally first of all it wouldn't be in the principal's office, which by the way, I don't think you guys have seen this yet. Well, no, you haven't. But like it doubles as Lewis's just apartment. Like he just lives in his office. But
He just
anyway.
lives in his office.
So so it's in his office, the lie detector test, and they don't do the thing where normally they ask you like, what is your name? Is this your age? Like to confirm that like to get like a
Work.
sense of your body levels and things like that. So like, but they just asked her the questions like, were you a criminal or whatever? She's like, no. And they're like, okay, you're free to go. And then,
Did you do it? No. All right. Moving on.
so then, Max is getting tested, and they show him the sketches, and they're like, um, are like, or what do you make of? Do you recognize any of these weapons? And then he's like, oh wait, I do. This is actually like really good. She copied the gun from the video game we like to play. And
Yeah, the coma gun.
yeah,
Which I thought, because of the way he said it, I thought he said homo gun for a second. I'm not sure which is funnier, the homo gun or the coma gun.
I mean, that's like a really, like, honestly, the ramifications of either are kind of really horrifying. So then it's Jackie's turn to get lie detector tested, and they ask her a question, and then we look at her face, and then cut to credits, and it's like, this is the cliffhanger of the episode, guys. We're just gonna
This is
be
it.
like,
That's all we got, honestly.
um, yeah. So that is like the entirety of episode 3. Um, Next episode we're gonna see the dramatic conclusion of Jackie's lie detector
And
test.
like I said again, like it seems like a lot happened, but like not a whole lot actually happened.
Yeah.
When you get right down to it, like there was not a lot going on here. It was a whole lot of setup, and what's really kind of annoying about the setup is we'll see they set a bunch of stuff up and then they immediately resolve it the next episode, like instantly.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, that was a complete waste of my time. Thanks.
And like that might not seem a big deal if you were watching the show like on cable, because then that's like week to week, and then like it would make sense. But it's a Netflix original, so you can just binge it. Like you can, if you see a cliffhanger, you can just
Sometimes
watch.
it feels like there's commercial breaks that are supposed to go in here too. Am I the one that feels that way?
No, I think you're right. Like I feel like they probably put them in anyway on the off chance, because like they could still like put it into syndication on some other channel like Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, or somebody might want it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for staying with us, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Thank you very much. Well, this has been Matt, and that's Zach's. This is the Greenhouse Files.
Yes. Oh, we should start. I wish I would have thought of that before. I could have put that on the title. These are the Greenhouse Files now.
Greenhouse Files? Is that what we changing the name of the show to that?
I mean, right now it doesn't really have a name. It's just Greenhouse Recap. So, like,
It's the Greenhouse Files.
yeah.
Wait, before we go, what was that? What was that Nickelodeon show? What was it? That one where the kids got like the how to survive school or whatever. You know?
Oh, that's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Yeah, this is this is Greenhouse Declassified. Survival Guide.
For sure, at least I'll name the playlist that.
Okay, now you can go.
Okay.
Now you're free. Now you're free to leave. On.
Okay, bye, you guys.